Hi, Peter. You're right. Hey, Andrew. I'm trying to put together a letter to all the churches about the attacks. You remember how it's been for us. It's so hard, you know. You know you've done nothing wrong. In fact, all you're trying to do is do it all right. And they come in and they take your stuff, separate you from your family, or worse. Remember when I was in that horrible Roman jail with all those guards around me? We were praying for your release. That angel sprung you. We couldn't believe it was you at our door. You know how we felt when James was executed. Desperate times, Peter. Sometimes it all feels like we're running out of time, you know. It's got to come back soon. So, it feels like we're caught in this in-between time, you know. We know he's here. We can feel him with us, and I can feel the change that's going on inside me, and he's guiding us, and he's giving us his power, and he's crying out inside us, you know. But at the same time, it's not the same, is it? As when he was sat at the table with us, telling us off and inspiring us and doing stuff no one expected. I really miss him. I miss him, Peter. But he is coming back. When? Now the Romans have just scattered us everywhere. Pentecost, we're all together in one place, thousands of us there meeting every day together, and numbers are growing, and numbers are still growing, Peter. Every day. Wherever the church is setting up. Okay, maybe I need to start there. People always see us as the hand-picked ones, you know. Literally, Jesus hand-picked us, you know. He's done the same with every single one of them as well. They just couldn't see him point at them, you know. It's that chosenness that makes us... Chosenness, that's great language skills right there, Peter. Hey, we're fishermen, give me a break. So, how are you going to start it off then? These are just notes. I don't know, something like, I'm writing as a chosen one to everyone scattered across the face of the earth, also chosen just like us. I feel like we weren't chosen at random, you know. Jesus, he knew it had to be us, had to be them. That's right. Something needs to go out about the plan, you know. There's always been a plan since before even Jesus, before Moses and Abraham. It's like before God even said, let there be light. That's good, that's good. That gives me the feels, that. Oh, stick that in. Yeah. I think it's important that we're not a club or a faith, you know. We're a movement of people. We're experiencing this rebirth inside us. We're spiritually alive, you know, because of Jesus. Yeah. You know, the Romans and all their like mystery religions and the people who are super angry because of their faiths, you know, they're all about getting to God by being good, you know. It's like we meditate right, or we have some secret knowledge, or we're holy enough, or we give stuff up, or we're devout enough. But with Jesus, it really is like God reached down and we took his hand. Do you remember? Do you remember the storm in the boat? And we see Jesus like walking on the water. We thought he's a ghost and everything, and I got out and I'm like, he calls me and I'm walking on the water towards him. I take my eyes off him and I start to sink in the water, but he calls me. I took his hand and we walked on the water back to the boat. God's power. And we take his hand. He still protects us and shields us. Oh, put that in. God's shielding us. That's really good. We need to know that right now, don't we? And as he shields us, when we go through stuff, our faith never gets weaker, only stronger. I've been in prison, I've been whipped and hit, I've been in court. Each time he gives me what to say. I can feel his strength rising up inside me. That needs to go in. It's that voice, that spirit inside you, you know, that the transformation that God brings about. It's so hard to put it down. You can never really describe it to someone. You've got to experience it. It's hard for us though, you know. Live all the time like we should do. Do you find that you've always still got these pulls inside you to go back to how things were? Like battles with your heart, battles with your mind. All the time. You know, I am 100% convinced that inside I'm reborn. But I know I can feel God's forgiveness, that clean slate, you know. It's so hard to be constantly conscious that Jesus is still living in me, right inside me. Cost him everything, didn't it? You and me. And them, everywhere. To win us back, you know. Yeah. Pay for all the rubbish we've done. All those anti-God actions and attitudes. It's like we weren't paid for with anything as cheap as gold, but with the pricelessness of Jesus' sacrifice. You've got to put that in. That puts it into perspective, doesn't it? It's also like, you know, like a coral reef is like one massive living thing. It's actually made up of billions of small things that attach themselves and stay alive, you know. And they become like a whole, you know, a home for other things, and it brings more life to the sea. And new life grows on top of the old life. Like what we've got now is on top of the prophets and Moses and Abraham and years of growth all coming to where we are now. Right. That's what Jesus is like. That's what the church is like. We're like a living wall. Like Jesus is like the coral reef, and he's there, and we join him, and we become part of this network of life. One coral, all clinging on to Jesus. And some don't want to join him, and they get cut to pieces on it, you know. But those who are part of it, it's a life of worship, a life of freedom. And then we serve each other. Yeah. Serve those around us. And each one of us has got gifts that God's given us, you know. It's that way. When people accuse us of doing evil, they're blinded with all these like clean, good lives, pure motives, generosity, faith. They can see Jesus all over us, and they've got nothing to actually say, you know. It's been amazing, all this, hasn't it? No, nothing like I expected it to be. Do you remember him coming over to us in that boat? First catch of fish on that mountain, when it glowed, you know, and Moses and Elijah turned up, and the crowds, and the moments when it was just us, and when it was just you, me, James and John in that garden, remember, right at the end. He will come back, Peter, or we'll go home first. Either way, time is short. Time is short. Let's get this letter done, Penny. I'll leave you to it. Good night, Peter. Right. I am writing to you as Peter, one of the ones Jesus sent out personally, because you have been hand-picked and chosen too.